Hello again. Right, so today I'm in a Lexus CT200 hybrid. This is my own personal car that I use daily. You might be wondering why I'm driving, or why I'm daily driving, what's basically a Mark III Toyota Prius. Now initially I bought it to sell on, not to keep. But now after 9 months, and I've done 9,000 miles in the car, I've kind of grown attached to it and I don't really want to get rid of it. I can't really figure out why. It doesn't sound very good. It doesn't look particularly attractive. It's not quick. And yet I don't really want to sell it. Now they only offer one engine option, which is a 1.8 petrol. Now when you couple that up to the battery pack, it produces about 136 horsepower. And it's got a stupid CVT automatic gearbox. So it's not exactly a combination that will get your pulse racing. I mean, I'm not a morning person at all, so I sit there on my way to work looking like Pete Doherty with baggy eyes. So I just want to sit there sipping my coffee, listening to the radio. You don't get the opportunity to redline anything or have any fun in anything anyway, so you may as well just do it in something that's comfortable and good on fuel, which this is, by the way. It costs about £40 to fill up, and it does 430 miles to a tank. I always average 58, 60 miles per gallon, and it doesn't matter whether you drive on the motorway or around town, you always get close to 60 miles per gallon. The road tax is free here in the UK, and it's silent most of the time. You've got this little display screen here, which is quite poor actually for Lexus. It kind of looks like the screen from a 90s Nintendo Game Boy. It's really pixelated. It's not typical Lexus quality, I don't think. Usually with small cars, you don't get any extras really. Whereas this feels like you're in a luxury saloon car. You get loads of extras. You get electric memory seats, fold-in mirrors, auto lights, heated seats. The leather's really good quality. In fact, the whole interior is finished to a really high standard. It doesn't feel like you're in a small, relatively cheap hatchback. So really the worst part about this car is the lack of power. It's so slow. I mean, it's not dangerously slow like some old diesel four-wheel drives that I've driven, but it's just no fun at all. I mean, round town it's not too bad, I suppose. But if you've got to try and overtake something on a hill or on a bit of an incline, it just doesn't have any power at all. Now, it's got 3 settings: normal, eco or sport. And if you press the sport button, then you get a rev counter and the dash turns red, which looks really sporty, but nothing really happens. So you put your foot on the accelerator, the revs surge, but you don't really go anywhere. It sounds like the clutch is slipping on a manual car. Now you can pick these up for about £6,000 or £7,000, but I'd recommend you go for a top spec like this one. This one's the Premier SEL. Now if you want a low mileage one of these, then you'll have to spend maybe £11,000 or £12,000. I've read lots of reviews on these, and everyone complained about the harsh ride or the firm ride. I don't think it is at all. Unless you jump out of an S500 and straight into this, I don't think the ride's firm at all. It's not like a 1 Series M Sport or something where you can just feel every little bump in the road. See, now I'm on a hill. Oh, that engine is just horrible. Owning one of these cars, you're never gonna open your curtains on a Sunday morning and see a blue sky and think, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna jump in my CT and find some twisty country roads. Yeah, you end up just giving in because you feel sorry for it. Yeah, no, it's not a good sound at all. But then people don't buy this car for performance, obviously. It was basically a Prius, but with a different body. And your average person doesn't know that it's a Prius, so you don't get the stigma of being a tree-hugging hippie weirdo. The boot's not the biggest, the rear legroom's not the best either. There's no middle armrest in the rear either, which is annoying. The centre screen pops up when you start the car. The steering's not bad, it's a bit light and a bit vague, but it's not terrible. Yeah, whoever buys one of these is interested in how easy it is to drive and fuel consumption. And on both those fronts, it passes with flying colours, I think. Now, this car's biggest selling point is the cost to run. It's just so cheap to run this car. Last week, I drove from my house into central London for the day and then back. And I did that on 1 tank of fuel. So for 42 quid, I got there and back, which was like a 430 mile round trip. You just really can't beat that. So it won't cost you much to run, and being a Lexus, it's not going to leave you stranded at the side of the road either. So I've done 9,000 miles in this car in the last 9 months, and nothing's gone wrong at all. Apart from I've just replaced the brake pads and discs actually. But yeah, apart from general maintenance, nothing else is broken. And the parts generally I don't think are any more expensive than any other premium brand. So Toyota and Lexus have been working on this hybrid technology for like 20 odd years, so they've ironed out any issues they had. So it's probably one of the most reliable hybrids you could buy, especially as a used buy anyway. I mean, this is 8 years old now, 7 years old, this car. And it's done 56,000 miles. And yeah, it drives as good as new. I don't know why they don't do like a GTI version of this car that has 100 horsepower more and a decent gearbox, because then it would be an excellent car. But they don't. You just get this 1.8 litre hybrid system. And the thing with this, it is slow. It is slow. So it is slow. But you find yourself driving it more economically, which I know sounds really geeky, but you just do it subconsciously. Downhill or at slow speeds, the little EV light flashes on the dash to let you know that you're just running on battery power alone. And you find yourself driving it more carefully to try and get more range out of the electric power alone without kicking in the petrol engine. It is really comfortable though, this car. The leather seats are really padded and thick. Now, I've mentioned this before with Lexus, but another issue is that they're mainly bought by pensioners, so they're not a very cool car, which is a shame because I think they look really good. New modern Lexuses with the new sharp grille and the sharp styling look really sporty. But every time you see one on the road, without fail, it'll be somebody with grey hair, I guarantee you. The other day I saw a white CT like this one, white with black wheels, black grille, black badges, and it was like the F-Sport model. So I raced up to it to see how old the driver was, just out of curiosity, because I thought they've got to be young. Anyway, I got level with it at traffic lights, and it was a little old lady in her 80s. And that's the thing, every time I see an RC or a new IS or any smart looking Lexus, the driver is always 106 years old. So I think Lexus really need to do something just to shake off the OAP image, which is what Jaguar's done in the last 5 or 10 years successfully. They were always bought by older people, and now they've reinvented themselves and now they're a cool brand again. Lexus really need to do the same. The other day I was admiring a Lexus RC in the car park, and then the owner came over and he looked just like Rolf Harris. And that's my point, they're never bought by young people. So if you're watching this and you're considering getting an Audi A3 or a BMW 1 Series, I'd get one of these instead. I do really want to buy an RC or an LC 500 at some point, but I don't want to start wearing a tweed jacket and listening to Radio 4. So as always, thanks again for watching. Make sure you click the subscribe button. I've set up an Instagram page now, so make sure you follow me on that. I've got plenty more videos on the way, so make sure you subscribe. I'm not on Twitter because I hate it.